Hello, welcome, or welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. I always think that I'm gonna say something different, but it's it's so automatic now. I don't know, why would I say anything different? Just to switch it up a little. Anyway, um, so yeah, hello. Oh, we're off to a good start. My name is Liz. I'll be guiding you on this journey today. This is the reading for Capricorn. Wherever Capricorn is in your chart. And, happy birthday to you. Or happy belated, happy early birthday, all of the things. I hope everything's going well for you. I don't know what else. Of course, every person on YouTube that has a channel says it. I would love it if you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I think that's what in part makes me so uncomfortable sometimes about saying that out loud, because I don't know why. But I'm everybody else does it, so I hate it. but at the same time though, right? I mean, I would love it if you subscribe to the channel. I mean, it helps me grow, who doesn't love that? So, okay, like I said, we're off to a good start here. Really observing our thoughts. Maybe you're just kind of in that same vibe of why are things the way that they are? Why do I have the thoughts that I do? Why am I doing the things that I'm doing? Is this practical? Does this help? Is this authentic to me, right? So anyway, this is a 3-card spread. I'm just going to shuffle a bunch of times. We're not going to take the jumpers on this spread, even though there's been plenty, which is great. I mean, I love when the cards are talkative anyway. But the first card is your current energy, the energy that's surrounding you. The second card is the energy that's leaving, or the energy that is no longer serving you. And the third card is what's coming in, the energy that is going to be available to you, what's new. And then we are going to clarify each one of those cards with an additional card. So let me just get a couple shuffles in here without any jumpers, and then we'll get your spread out. Okay, so for Capricorn, current energy is the Hanged Man. What's leaving, or what's no longer serving, is the King of Swords. What is coming in is the Emperor. And then to clarify, we have the Hierophant with the Hanged Man. We have the Knight of Wands with the King of Swords. And then we have the Three of Swords with the Emperor. All right, let me just make sure everything is in frame here. It's interesting because it really does, well, okay. There was way too many things that were trying to come out of my mouth at one time. So, one at a time. First, like I was saying before, right? Me just kind of bleh, all of the shit that was going on in my head, right? And then I'm maybe you have been going through the same just self-reflection type of introspection thing where, you're what are the values that I have, the principles, why do I make the decisions that I do? What's kind of going on in my headspace, right? And in relation to my real life, reality, the 3D world, right? And I do actually think that this is also saying that. So we start with the Hanged Man and the Hierophant here, and the Hanged Man, I mean, they're literally hanging upside down, from this tree, right? And it's not like they are in distress or anything, but honestly, like this hanged man does seem to me to be over it. You know, other depictions or illustrations of the hanged man, they're usually just chilling, right? Like neutral expression on their face, maybe like a little bit of a smirk, right? It's like they know they're there. They're fine being there. They're not stressed. They're not, you know, anything. This one though looks like, ugh, if I have to like hang here one more effing day, I'm gonna lose it. Right? But the purpose of the hanged man is to see things from a different perspective. It also like what's going through my head is sleeping on it, you know, like before making a big decision, give yourself a day and just see how things go, right? See if your mind changes, see if you gather a different perspective just because time passes and you have more of an opportunity to work through your thoughts, your feelings, all of that stuff, right? So with it being paired with the hanged or the Hierophant, excuse me, the Hierophant is Taurus. I believe the hanged man is Neptune, which is what modernly Pisces. And it's currently in Pisces until sometime this year. It's going to be changing signs. So with it being at like the later degrees of Pisces, or, you know, there could just be some lessons here that are just, you know, getting their T's crossed and their I's dotted here. But also it's like you might just be in an energy of being like, I feel like I got the lesson. I feel like I get it. But why do I still feel like I am in suspension, or I am in limbo, or I am just, you know, things aren't quite starting to move forward yet? And the Hierophant is traditional institutions. It could also even just be like your belief systems, like I said before, right? Like values, morals, like how did those things even, like how did you come to believe the things that you believe? Right? I mean, and not even necessarily like in the, you know, I mean, it definitely can be big picture, but it's just almost just like, you know, that saying, the quickest way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. You okay? Do you have a dog that reverse sneezes too? Like, anyway, that's what my dog was doing. So yeah, like it doesn't necessarily have to be, again, like big grandiose, you know, picture. It certainly can be. I think you have the capacity, of course, for seeing, you know, the big picture, but it's almost just like breaking things down into smaller bites. You know, like even just going through your day. Why am I doing the things that I do, right? You know, because this combo here could be a spiritual awakening. It could be like a complete change in the way that you have been operating your life, the way that you've been seeing it, the way that you express it too. This could be wanting to get to like engage in some sort of community. I mean, you know, it does have like a religious undertone, of course, to it, but that just goes towards the traditional quote unquote institutions. I mean, it could be school, college. It could just be finding a mentor, because also too with a Hierophant, it is somebody who has an expertise in a subject that you are interested in, and they are passing it on or sharing it with other people. Because I mean, even if you go to church, right? I was raised Catholic, so that's what I have a familiarity with. I no longer identify as Catholic, but that's what I was raised with. Where, you know, the priest, there's a process, there's, you know, a tradition that goes along with mass, every single mass that you go to for the most part, unless it's, you know, a specific time of year or a specific celebration, follows pretty much the same blueprint, right? They're reading the gospel, they're reading, you know, passages from the Bible and stuff, right? So as an example, not to like totally go off of the rails, but as an example, right? Because even in school, there's a professor, right? And they have training, they have schooling, they have experience in a certain field, and they're there passing that knowledge on to you. So it could also be in this limbo period of almost even waiting for somebody to come along to find you, type of thing. You could also, again, even be trying to find where you fit in with all of those things. Look at this from my like hair tie. Anyway, so that's the current energy. Is there anything else I want to say about that? Just try to remain open-minded too, because I'm just like, I was staring at, their head being upside down, and I'm just like imagining, all of this stuff just pouring out of the top of their head. And it's almost like you could even just have a lot of relatable, interesting, like knowledge to share with people. And maybe you're just waiting for the opportunity to do that, or looking for the opportunity to do that. Or this is also saying too, like, maybe you could start looking at yourself, viewing yourself from the lens of somebody who does have experience, knowledge that people would pay attention to, that people would listen to, and would really actually benefit from. So what is leaving, or the energy that is no longer serving you, is the King of Swords and the Knight of Wands. This almost just kind of feels like not having a like specific plan. Like the kings are the highest expression of the suit. So the King of Swords is going to be, clarity of mind, disciplined, like almost with their thoughts and with their mind. Swords have everything to do with our head, our thoughts, our beliefs. Ego, it's truth, honesty. How are we like communicating those things too? And with the Knight of Wands, which is I always kind of think of like the Knight of Wands as like a match, right? Like you strike the match, there's this kind of burst of a flame, and then it only lasts like 30 seconds or so, right? Like however long before you have to like blow it out. So it's almost like these like, spurts of inspiration. Or too, like the thing that was just going through my head is like dipping your toe in, proverbially, right? Like just kind of maybe sharing some things, or maybe, like having clarity of thought, and then kind of going for the thing, kind of putting a little bit of action into it, but not fully committing to it. Like in your head, you might be committed to it, but your actions say otherwise. Like your actions are like, you're kind of on the fence, or, again, like there's just not a ton of juice behind it. Like it kind of fizzles out pretty quick. And maybe it's because like, just the instant gratification thing, that we've all kind of been conditioned to. And again, just not like giving things enough oomph, or giving it enough attention or time to really actualize. And then it's interesting that we end with the Emperor and the Three of Swords. So we have this, air and fire card, and fire and air card, water and earth in the middle, which is actually really pretty interesting. I'm glad that I said that out loud, right? Because I feel like all of these are really complementary, actually. I don't know in terms of elements and shit, like if, a greater amount of people feel this way, but like water and earth go so well together, right? I mean, you can't really have earth without the water element, because, right? I mean, like water makes earth grow, like plants and shit like that is what I'm thinking. Same with air and fire. You can't have fire without oxygen, like without air, right? Like that's what puts out fire, is the lack of air. So these are actually really, and again, even just this perspective change thing that's happening, it's literally like seeing those small little things, even following your stream of consciousness, and again, even like saying it out loud too, and being like, oh shit, start connecting dots, right? So anyway, the Emperor and the Three of Swords. The Emperor is all of the kings put together. So, it's being able to draw in on every element available to you, right? The Emperor is also, again, discipline. And this is kind of what I was talking about with the King of Swords and the Knight of Swords. There might just be like a lack of discipline, or even just a discomfort in some aspect with discipline. So the Emperor being in the energy of what is coming in or what is available to you, there is the energy is available here for you to shift your perspective or shift even your relationship to discipline, and really even just hone in on your expression of discipline. Because I think too, like, we see other people and how they go about discipline, and we're just like, and again, it may not be for everybody, but for me specifically, I'm like, I also too, I mean, of course, I think it like depends on your chart and, of course, all of the things, but like, really though, honing in on what works for you. And it doesn't have to look the way that other people look, right? Like, you can share it if you want to. The energy is available here for you to share that too. Even if it is just in conversation, it's not like to receive, either criticism or praise or whatever. It's just, this is what I'm doing. But also with the Emperor, it is like very, very like by the book almost. There really is like this leveling up thing though that's happening, because, to go from the King of Swords to the Emperor card, I mean, it really is like empowering yourself. It really is like stepping into your own power, and also like sticking to a plan, right? Like sticking to it to see what happens, to see it actualize. It is paired with the Three of Swords. And the Three of Swords talks about rejection, disappointment, heartbreak almost too, right? Well, I mean, there are three swords that are sticking into this heart here, but it's swords, right? So it's about the stories that we attach to those feelings, to those experiences, how it becomes part of our belief system, how it becomes part of our personality, our temperament, all of the things, right? So there really is like, it really feels like to me about moving through feelings of disappointment, whether they're current, whether they're in the past, whether they are coming up. It's like not allowing the bumps in the road, or not allowing these experiences to throw you off course. And too, it's almost even like having a plan of healing, having a plan of how you are going to work through your own roadblocks. If you get to a certain point and then you stop, it's allowing yourself to work through that. It is calling on the energy of the kings, and knowing that you have the information, you have the energy, you have the ability to move past that point, go further than you have before. And too, I mean, as we know, right? I mean, if you consume any type of astrology, content, right? Pluto officially is out of Capricorn for the rest of our lives, right? I mean, it won't be back in there for like, what, 240 years or something like that. So, this is like almost a culmination of like the last 16 years and how much has changed. And it's not even necessarily like you have to go back through all of that, but also like recognizing where you are now, where you want to be in the next however many years. Like, what is possible? What have you realized about yourself, right? And literally giving yourself permission to reinvent, to, follow your plan, to follow, again, your unique expression of literally your whole effing life, dude. I'm going to leave it there. I do just kind of want to say the Chariot is at the bottom of the deck. I haven't really been Ace of Wands. Come on, son. I mean, things are moving forward here. The energy is available for things to move forward as fast or as slow or as moderately as you want them to, but there's no need to like continue to be in a state of flux unless there is just, almost it's like accepting something about yourself here. Okay, I'm going to leave it there because I feel like I could keep going and I'm probably just going to, kind of keep circling the same drain. So thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. It's an honor. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.